Go!
So short from the Italians on those early strokes, getting the boat away.
But off they are. They're really giving it some, aren't they? And that three-man, he loves to haul it along, doesn't he?
Yeah. Bomb it along. And bombing it along they are as we see them getting up towards the top of the island.
They're up and down like yo-yos, aren't they?
I've got it at 51. I'm not the best with the rate watch, but I've got them at 51 already in the Italian boat. The Brits alongside them, more or less holding with them, as we see Will Satch in the stroke seat there. And I've got them at about 45. But those longer strokes, perhaps from the British, are keeping them with it. That the Italians might be getting more in, but the boat's totally level. Fantastic start from both crews.
That's a really good start from the British. I thought the Italians would be out a bit quicker than that, but that's phenomenal from the Brits. They've really turned that around from the Europeans off the blocks.
Yeah, I think the British will be really pleased to have been able to not get jumped really by this fast-starting Italian crew, who we now expect to see keep whipping it along. Don't anyone expect someone in the bow to shout stride and then to settle down at some sort of sustainable pace. Let's just see them keep going. But Will Satch loves being out in front, and now we can see him backed up by Matt Tarrant, Mo Sabihi and Matt Rossiter now in the bow seat, and they're going to look to try and work away now.
That really was a great start from the Brits. We watched them yesterday against the South Africans, and there was quite a bit of steering going on, and it didn't look so comfortable, but this has been cool, composed, and they're off, and they're taking the lead. They've been very comfortable with this.
Well, it's Mo Sabihi in the two seat there who has the rudder, and I'm sure he won't have been happy with having to use it as much as he did yesterday on the start. Today, no need for that. They squeezed the boat out well. They kept that rate just a little bit lower than the Italians. Now they've settled into this pace, and it looks like they're just being able to ease away. But the Italians will not relent. They will not relent. They will keep coming and coming. We know what they've done in the past, and we know they'll just keep coming at them.
The Italians not quite accelerating it as much as I saw at the Europeans. I saw them this morning having breakfast in the Regatta Cafe, a full English all round, and maybe they're just a bit too relaxed, and at the moment this isn't quite what I've seen from them before.
Now, well, I'm disappointed to say my watch actually dropped into the 30s, so I've got a 39.5 on them. And let's see if this is just slightly different tactics, that they're going to be able to just find this pace and just be able to work their way back. They're still totally committed to it. They still look really connected and loose on the way forward. You have to be loose on the way forward if you're going to come forwards quickly and relaxed and then make that connection.
But that's the skill they've got, isn't it? They're so loose that they can sort of zoom up and down the boat without making too much damage, and we've seen before how well they move that boat and how they don't dig it into the water. But the Brits have linked it up. They're moving really well together.
Well, they've got that combination of kind of composure and power, a bit more power in this British boat, and we can see how well it's being delivered to the boat at 37 strokes a minute. And they're just going to look to keep efficiently easing away. No errors now from the British boat. Don't do anything out of the ordinary. They won't be looking out of the boat. I know you don't look out of the boat when you've got Mo Sabihi sat in the seat behind you. I made that mistake a few times and got firmly told off.
Yeah, you know what it's like to have that power behind you, backing you up stroke by stroke, don't you? He's a phenomenal athlete. Must be great to be in that tandem rig with Matt Tarrant there.
Quite different from the Italians, that we see them perfectly happy to have a look over the side there. Giovanni Avignali in the two seat having a look. The bowman also choosing to take a look and see, come on, let's get some motivation from seeing what we're doing here. The Brits, by contrast, looking straight down the boat, rowing their own boat, churning it out down the course here as they go past that 3/4 mile mark.
So Matteo Castaldo, the three-man in the Italian boat on the left-hand side, he's a really fiery character. He won't be enjoying this, and actually you can get the sense that he's getting wound up. He's getting frustrated, and they're trying to claw it back.
Well, all of these Italian men picked up bronze medals at the Rio Olympics. Two of them were in the pair, the bow pair were in the pair, the stern pair were in the four in Rio. They all got the bronzes. Two of the British crew, of course, got gold medals at the Rio Olympics. And now we're seeing the new fours being formed, the new fours, the new combinations looking towards the Tokyo Olympics. But today it's all about this massive Henley race.
Yeah, on recent form, obviously at the European Championships, the Italians won that and the British were a bit far behind them. And so the British are really looking to put that right to wrong, aren't they?
They certainly are, and I've got the Italians now back up over 40. They need to make their move now, pretty much 2/3 of the way down the course. They need to make that move, as we see Matt Rossiter's back coming towards us. That's a back that's had a lot of attention in the last 7 years. He's had awful injuries with backs, with ribs, but now here he is, back sitting in this fastest British boat, and with nearly a length lead coming into the enclosures. Will that back be able to hold up? Will this crew be able to hold up? Will their technique be able to hold up, as the Italians are bound to charge in front of the enclosures?
It's great to see that British boat developing themselves. They've obviously played a bit of musical chairs throughout the season, but they found the music stopped and they found the right seats they want to stay in, and now they're gelling together, and this will be a big scout for them to take. They know how good the Italians have been on the circuit this year, and this is a great job to be a sort of length up coming into the enclosures at Henley.
That's right, we'll now have to see how much they pay for the work they did early on. We saw them get off the start an awful lot quicker than they have in the past. They'll be very pleased. Their coach Jürgen Grover will be very pleased with the way they were able to start. We've got to see now how much they pay for that, but they've got that little bit of clear water. Will Satch in the stroke seat. Anyone who watched the Rio Olympics will have seen him in the stroke seat of the Great Britain 8, getting that 8 out in front, and we all thought once Satch was in front, people don't often come back at him, and I can't see the Italians coming back at him or the rest of that crew today as they steer that fantastic line. Well done Mosabihi, keeping the boat tight to the booms in front of the enclosures.
Italians just following them over to the Berkshire station slightly. It's not a great manoeuvre, but they're winding it up.
Well, you tend to drift in, don't you, when you catch the bow wave? They tended to drift in and get pulled in towards the crew from Britain. It is getting close towards the line. The Italians are sprinting, but there can only be about 5 strokes left in the race. I think it's too little too late as they're coming down. 42 for the Italians, but it's not going to be enough as the British cross the line. About a length ahead of the Italian 4. As we said, that's a big, meaningful win, and I can see it in the British crew. Looking strong. That win in the Stewards Challenge Cup for Leander and Molesey ahead of Team Italia.
Paddle, go.
And listen to that, paddle, paddle, go from Mosabihi. Let's row away from here. His mind's on the next race already.
Booming voice there, tapping the boat strongly, letting them know that the Brits are back on form now.
Well, this is how these Italians went out. They went out uncharacteristically relaxed. Being led, uncharacteristically relaxed.
That's what a full English does to you, I'm afraid.
Yes. So no record today, 6:24, the overall time for this 4 in the Stewards. And like we say, we'll see these crews race each other again. Who knows how many times in the next 4 years we build up towards the Tokyo Olympics. But today, the win goes to the crew from Great Britain, and you can see how pleased they are down that crew. Matt Rossiter, Mosabihi, Matt Tarrant and Will Satch put in a great performance on the Henley course in the last race before lunch.